Question for you. How much do you think it costs to break out of a high-security prison? Thousands, millions in planning, a full-scale Hollywood-style heist? What if I told you someone humiliated an entire government with an escape plan that cost $10? Yes, the price of a fast food meal. Sounds impossible, right? But it happened. And it's one of the most audacious prison breaks in modern history. Welcome to Facts by Michael, where unbelievable true stories come alive. Before we unravel this insane jailbreak, hit that like button and comment below. If you had just $10, what would your escape plan be? Meet the mastermind. Meet Richard Lee McNair. On the surface, a polite, quiet inmate working in a North Dakota prison. But underneath, a mind sharper than any razor wire. A man who could plan, adapt, and execute in ways most of us wouldn't even dare to imagine. Now pause for a second, think about it. How do you outsmart guards, sniffer dogs, and an entire system designed to keep you locked up, using nothing but your wits and a few scraps lying around? By most accounts, McNair seemed ordinary. Too ordinary. That was exactly his advantage. No one suspected the quiet, helpful guy in the mail workshop could pull off the audacious escape of a lifetime. The $10 plan. While repairing mailbags in the prison workshop, McNair noticed something curious. Stacks of heavy mailbags being moved all the time. And suddenly, it clicked. His ticket to freedom wasn't in digging tunnels or hijacking helicopters. It was right there in plain sight. He built a hiding spot inside a stack of sealed mailbags, carefully slipped in a breathing tube, and sealed himself up like just another package. Cost of materials? About $10. That's it. A roll of tape, some ingenuity, and nerves of steel. Now I've got to ask, what would you risk for freedom if all you had was a roll of tape, a little patience, and pure nerve? The Great Escape. On an April morning in 2006, McNair climbed into his handmade crate. Guards, thinking it was just another stack of mailbags, loaded it onto a truck without even checking inside. Hours later, the truck rolled out, carrying a man who should have been locked up for life, and no one noticed, not until it was far too late. Can you imagine the chaos when prison officials finally counted the cells? One man gone, vanished like a ghost. The audacity is mind-blowing. And it raises the question, how many other systems we trust might be broken in ways we've never imagined? Manhunt madness. The U.S. Marshals went absolutely berserk. Imagine the panic inside government offices, phones ringing non-stop, news crews swarming the prison, and officials scrambling to explain how a convicted criminal managed to simply vanish. A nationwide manhunt was launched immediately. McNair, meanwhile, became a ghost. He dyed his hair, swapped outfits, and slipped through sleepy little towns where no one would look twice at a stranger passing through. He wasn't hiding in shadows. He was blending into the crowd, moving like a chameleon in plain sight. And here's where the story takes a jaw-dropping twist. During his time on the run, McNair was stopped not once, but twice by police officers. Both times he had every reason to be nervous. A wrong word, a suspicious glance, even a bead of sweat could have exposed him. But McNair, he stayed calm. He smiled. He chatted casually, like he had nothing to hide. One officer later described him as polite and friendly, just a guy out for a jog. Think about that for a second. The man they were desperately hunting across state lines was right in front of them, and he walked away free, twice. That's how good McNair was. He didn't just run from the law. He blended into everyday life so well that trained officers couldn't see past the act. It's almost terrifying when you realize how convincing a fugitive can be if they know exactly how to act normal. Now here's a question for you. If you passed Richard McNair on the street, smiling, jogging, maybe even waving hello, would you have known who he was? Or would you have shrugged it off, just like those officers did? McNair had mastered the art of invisibility. He wasn't hiding underground or sneaking through the woods. He was hiding in the open, right where nobody thought to look. That's why people still call him a ghost in plain sight. The capture. After more than a year of eluding capture, traveling across state lines, and slipping through the cracks of the law, McNair's luck finally ran out. In New Brunswick, Canada, a sharp-eyed officer recognized something familiar. A face, a mannerism, a detail most would have missed. Even at the moment of confrontation, when freedom hung by a thread, McNair did not panic. He didn't try to run, yell, or resist. Instead, he stayed calm, polite, almost casual, as if acknowledging the inevitability of the situation with a wry sense of humor. Imagine that. A man who had spent months slipping past some of the most extensive manhunts in North American history, facing alert police officers and law enforcement dogs, maintaining composure under extreme pressure and yet still projecting confidence. It was as if he were mocking the entire system with his calm demeanor, showing the world that he'd outsmarted them all at least once. This was more than an arrest. It was the climax of a story that tested the limits of patience, intelligence, and nerve. McNair's calm in the face of capture, his ability to blend charm, wit, and unshakable confidence is what made this escape legendary, cementing his place in the annals of criminal history. It's almost impossible to imagine such composure. How does a man hunted across borders, constantly on edge, still manage to keep a cool head and a sharp mind? That question alone is part of what makes McNair's story unforgettable. A tale that proves sometimes brilliance doesn't shout, it whispers in the most audacious ways. Why it worked. $10. That's all it took to expose a massive flaw in the prison system. No tech, no explosions, no helicopters, just brains, patience, and creativity. It makes you wonder how many other impossible systems are vulnerable to clever thinking, and how much do we overestimate security when the human mind is the ultimate wild card? So tell me, was this the smartest prison break you've ever heard of? Or just insane luck mixed with brilliance? Drop your thoughts below. And if this story blew your mind, hit that like button so more people can discover it. And don't forget, subscribe to Facts by Michael. We've got a massive Amazon gift card giveaway coming soon, and your comment today might just win something incredible. Until next time, stay curious, stay clever, and remember, sometimes $10 is all it takes to change everything.
I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?